USAA knows dynamic duos can save the day, like superheroes and sidekicks or auto and home insurance. With USAA, you can bundle your auto and home and save up to 10%. Learn more and get a quote at usaa.com/bundle. Restrictions apply.
When kids don't play, they grow up without imagination. Then it's all small talk and awkward weather chats. Good thing Gushers, Fruit by the Foot, and Fruit Roll-Ups are made to be played with. You better be playing.
Before she was Queen of England, Catherine of Aragon had a story you've never fully heard. Forging a Queen is a 6-week online course led by Dr. Emma Cahill-Marone, backed by 15 years of research. Pre-recorded lessons mean you can watch anytime at your own pace. Class starts September 17th. Sign up now through the link in the show notes.
This is the Tudors, Dynasty, and Beyond podcast. History with a twist. And now your host, Rebecca Larson.
Imagine a Parisian night, gas lanterns flickering on cobblestones, and crowds gazing skyward as a lone balloonist ascends into the dark, fireworks blazing in the heavens. Welcome to the extraordinary world of Sophie Blanchard, the fearless daredevil who transformed ballooning from spectacle to science. I'm Rebecca Larson. In today's episode, we'll explore how this shy, waist-fearing woman became the first female aeronaut, mesmerizing Europe with daring stunts, pioneering experiments, and a legacy that literally went up in flames. Madeleine Sophie Armand was born on the 25th of March, 1778. In a quiet village in France. Nearly 20 years before her birth, a fleeting, yet fateful meeting occurred. Her mother crossed paths with famed balloonist Jean-Pierre Blanchard at a local inn. Enchanted by Madame Armand, Blanchard made a bold promise. If she ever bore a daughter, he would one day return to marry the girl. Certain she would grow into someone both beautiful and captivating. In the late 18th century, Joseph Michel and Jacques Etienne Montgolfier began crafting balloons from sackcloth and taffeta, lifted by heat air from fires below. As their balloons grew larger, the dream of human flight came closer to reality. King Louis XVI proposed sending criminals to test the flights, but the brothers chose a gentler approach, sending a sheep, a duck, and a rooster into the sky first. In a spectacular 1783 demonstration at Versailles, the animals soared 1,500 feet before safely landing. Months later, human flight took off. Etienne Montgolfier ascended in a tethered balloon. Soon followed Pilatre de Rosier, who made history with the first free flight before an awe-struck crowd, including Louis XVI and Benjamin Franklin. True to his romantic vow, Jean-Pierre Blanchard returned and married Sophie in 1796, sweeping her into the skies, both as his wife and his daring partner in ballooning. Blanchard, already famous for achieving the first airborne crossing of the English Channel in 1785, was a showman through and through. And Sophie, well, she proved more than willing to embrace the peril and pageantry of flight. Sophie first soared into the skies in 1804 alongside her husband, and from that moment, she was captivated. On land, she was timid and high-strung, easily startled and prone to fainting. But once airborne, Sophie transformed into a fearless daredevil, utterly at home among the clouds. By 1805, she was flying solo, becoming the first woman to pilot a balloon alone. Jean-Pierre, as the showman, recognized the public's fascination and encouraged Sophie to hone her aerial talents, not only for glory, but also for the financial reward that came with fame. Together, they became a sensation. As France reeled from revolution, spectators paid eagerly to witness the Blanchards float above it all, defying gravity and reason. But simple ascents weren't enough. They added drama with daring stunts, including acrobatics performed on a net dangling from their balloon gondola. Their breathtaking performances toured all across Europe, thrilling crowds from France to England to the German states. Over the course of more than 60 ascensions, they captured imaginations. That is, until tragedy struck. In February 1808, following a flight in the Netherlands, Jean-Pierre fell ill, likely the result of a stroke. He died not long after, on the 7th of March, 1809. Madeleine Sophie Blanchard didn't let her husband's death ground her. Despite teetering on the edge of bankruptcy, thanks in part to Jean-Pierre's poor financial habits, she refused to give up the thrill of ballooning or the adoration of the crowds. Now flying solo, she became the first woman to pilot a balloon alone under various conditions. On the 24th of June, 1810, she made a breathtaking ascent during the celebrations for Emperor Napoleon's marriage to Marie Louise of Austria. Her dramatic flight was the highlight of the event, earning her the honorary title of Chief of Air Services from Napoleon himself. From then on, she toured France and Europe, performing at grand state festivals and dazzling audiences as an unofficial aerial ambassador of the empire. Suspended above gasping crowds, Sophie Blanchard turned the sky into a stage. She soared at night, igniting fireworks from custom rigs and setting sparks raining down from parachutes. But her theatrics masked a deeper passion, pioneering flight. She pushed the limits of altitude and distance, and in a precursor to modern testing, used dolls and animals in her parachute experiments. Sophie Blanchard made ballooning appear effortless, even glamorous, but the reality was far from serene. It was perilous, grueling work. Crossing the Alps at 9,000 feet, she nearly froze and suffered intense nosebleeds, saved only by her skill and sheer determination. In Nantes in 1817, she mistook a flooded field for a meadow and nearly drowned upon landing. Despite the dangers, the allure of balloon flight, and the sight of a brave, graceful woman defying gravity captivated crowds, especially in the quieter years after Napoleon's fall. But the skies that had made her famous would ultimately betray her. On the 6th of July, 1819, in Paris's Tivoli Gardens, a popular amusement park once opened by Marie Antoinette, she planned to release fireworks and a crown of Bengal lights mid-air, her 67th ascent. As her balloon rose to 300 meters, the fireworks erupted as promised in a dazzling display. But then came disaster. The sparks ignited the hydrogen that fueled her balloon. A fireball consumed the gondola, which crashed onto a rooftop. All of Paris seemed to mourn. A massive crowd turned out to pay tribute to her bravery. Sophie Blanchard had always known the risks, but she had also known that the sky was worth them. Sophie Blanchard lived and died among the clouds. In a world that expected women to remain grounded, she soared. Her story is not just about flight, but about defying limits, claiming space, and chasing wonder in a sky that had only just begun to open. Though her final ascent ended in tragedy, her legacy remains aloft, an enduring symbol of courage, curiosity, and the audacity to dream.
Thanks for listening to Tudors, Dynasty, and Beyond. If you enjoyed the episode, please take a moment to follow or subscribe wherever you're listening so you never miss a new release. And if you loved it, leave a quick review. It helps more history lovers find the show. Want to support the podcast and get bonus content? Head to patreon.com/tudorsdynasty. You can also find the link in the show notes of this episode. Join the conversation with Rebecca on social media at Tudors Dynasty. Until next time.